Hi everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm Chandrika and this is Rika Life. Alright, so I finally have some finished objects. I have been crocheting every day now and I have finished some of my whips. So I will share those with you. Plus I have another whip that I picked up that I'm going to show you as well that I am now working on. So first, I'd like to show you what I finished. I have this scarf that I was making. Let me see if I can find the top so I can show you the pattern. This is the pattern. So I'm gonna find the pattern and link it down below in the description box. So check that out for the pattern. This is a very simple scarf pattern. It is a chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 3, 2 double crochet. You continue that all the way around and you put another chain 3 on the end. That's it. And that's how this whole entire scarf is made. Now, I do not remember the color of this. I'm just going to show you how big it is. So it's folded in half and it's about that big. So it can be worn like this, something like this. It can be worn any way you like. It's not very wide, I must admit, but I have made this scarf multiple times now, so there's enough space to make 4 kind of fans going across. And this yarn is a Red Heart Unforgettable, I think. I don't think it's Line Brand Landscapes because I bought a lot of Red Heart Unforgettable when it was on sale a few years ago. So the reason why this was a whip is because I made a big boo-boo. So I finished this scarf. I was working on it. Then I put it down. Then at some point I picked it up and I just finished it. And then when I looked at it, I realized that it was all warped. So the last this much of the scarf, like almost a quarter of the scarf, was all warped. It was all turning in and curling up, and I didn't want to frog this entire project, so I just frogged that much. And then I went back and I realized I either forgot the stitch count or I just made some mistake. And so I corrected that now. And now the scarf is laying perfectly straight. And now I'm happy with it. So now it is finally done. And I'm actually really happy that I pulled this out. It was just a kind of small whip that was hanging around, but now it is complete and it feels so good to finish it. I'm going to show that to you up close so you can see the colors. It's really beautiful. If I can find the name of the color, I will also put that in the description box below. I will look for that. So it looks almost the same on both sides. The colors are just repeating. This is called a roving style of yarn, and luckily it doesn't change in thickness. So I've used an I 5.5 millimeter hook for this, and I use that throughout. And of course, as I mentioned, I'm going to put the pattern down below, so look for that. I believe it is a free pattern and it's a very simple pattern. The reason why I said I was really happy that I finished this is because I have about, let's say, 12 to 15 balls of Red Heart Unforgettable in my yarn closet, and I've been wondering what to do with it, and now I think I'm just going to make these scarves. So I'm going to make them and I'm going to donate them to the hospital, and I'm really excited about that. Since I came back from my trip and then I came back from my weekend away, I've been trying to get back into my groove of crocheting and making things, and now I feel like this scarf is just giving me that kind of inspiration to make things. So that is the first thing I finished. I just finished that right now, and earlier today I finished my blanket. So let me get it on the right side, this is a blanket. I won't call it a baby blanket just because it's quite large, but maybe we can say it's a kid's blanket. I'll have to measure it, but this is what it looks like. It's pretty big. So let me stand up so I can. Okay, it's pretty much at the floor. So it comes to my waist, and it's pretty wide as well, as you can see. It's quite wide. So I did show this in an earlier video, but in case this is your first time seeing this, this is a blanket made with the block stitch, and the block stitch just has 2 rows. The foundation row is 1 single crochet, chain 3, 1 single crochet, and then on top of that you create 3 double crochets going across, which is like a granny stitch, or called a block stitch, and it creates this kind of effect. So let me try and see if I can show this to you up close. So this is a yarn from Karen. It's a Karen cake called a Karen Skinny Cake in the color Spearmint. And I have mixed that yarn because it's a very thin yarn with a big twist value in the color white. So because I mixed those two and held those 2 strands together, it's kind of given this kind of stone washed look, which I think has turned out really beautifully. And of course, this is a larger blanket than what I would usually make, but I'm actually thinking that maybe this would be a good size to donate for like a nursing home, because I was just seeing online that people have things for nursing homes. And I also saw Mikey over at the Crochet Crowd. He just came out with a pattern with Bernat blanket yarn for a palliative care blanket. So he had some measurements in there. I'm going to go back and read his post, and I'm going to see if my blanket I just finished meets any of those requirements. And if it does, then I will likely keep this for a nursing home and donate it there. I think it's big enough for an adult. I just put it on my lap. It's like a lap gown or lap blanket, and I think it might help to keep someone warm. So let me know if you've made lap gowns, or what are they called? Like a wheelchair blanket. I'm not sure what they're called. Let me know if you've made it. And if you do know the size that you've used, let me know that as well. I'm going to measure this after I finish recording, and then I'm going to check and see if I can donate this. This is not what I would consider a baby blanket, though some baby blankets can be on the larger side. But yeah, so that is that, and it is finally finished. So that was both my Karen Skinny Cake. The Karen Skinny Cake is actually 795 yards, so it's almost 800 yards, and I used 2 full skeins of the big twist value in white, and I would say maybe between a quarter to half of a third skein. So I got to use up some of my white yarn as well, so that was really fun. So those are my 2 finished objects that I have for you today. I'm so glad that they're finished. And because I was looking for so I have a list on my phone where I have all my whips and UFOs and all that, and my finished projects. But I finally opened it today, and I was like, okay, what are my whips? So then I was looking for them. So I was going through my project bags, and I found that scarf. I finished the scarf. This is the next one I pulled out. So this is Premier Puzzle yarn, and this is the color Riddle. It says Riddle/Enigma, so I guess that's what it's called. This, in case you don't know, this is a bulky 5 weight, and it recommends a USJ or 6mm hook. Okay, it's a 100% acrylic, and it's 328 yards, 300 meters, 7 ounces, or 200 grams. This is, let me see, does it say it's, yeah, you can machine wash cold and tumble dry, so that's really good. This is my second ball. I had bought 2 of these. This is back when I bought like a few colors of Premier Puzzle yarn, and I was still kind of testing them out. And I think this is likely my very last skein of that. So I am making a corner to corner scarf slash shawl, and this is what it looks like so far. So the color is changing. It's grays and blues and kind of all that fun stuff. So it's not that big yet, but I still have, I'd say this is still most of the skein. This is more than 3/4 of the skein left of the ball. So I am doing a corner to corner, and I'm just continuing to increase until I reach the end of my ball. And I do have a tutorial for corner to corner. I think I have 2 tutorials, so check that out on my channel. I am using a USM or 9mm hook. So I do need to go and buy, when I had gone to Hobby Lobby, they had an N hook, and it was made of plastic, and it was so lightweight, and I really enjoyed using it. So I need to find or buy something lightweight, because this is actually Susan Bates, and I always only use Susan Bates, but it's heavy. So I need to buy L and M in a lightweight yarn, in a lightweight hook. Okay, so for this project, I'm just going to give you the tips that I've used. I'm trying to create a more dense look, which you can hopefully see on the camera. Of course, in a corner to corner, if you sit and like pull things apart, then yes, you can see the gaps. But otherwise, you don't really see the gaps. You can barely see the gaps. It's more like a dense, thick fabric. So the way you do that, and this is not something I came up with, this is something I learned when I first started doing corner to corner a few years ago, is that when you are increasing and you're creating a new row, instead of chaining 6, you can chain 5, and then you do the 3 double crochets. Every time you add a block onto this, I slip stitch and then I chain 2. I don't chain 3, I chain 2, and then I make my 3 double crochets in there. By doing that, you create a denser fabric, a thicker fabric, and basically less holes. And for many things, we want to have less holy projects because, I don't know, it's just better, I feel. There are certain projects where it lends itself to being kind of, how do you say, holy, because it's just the nature of the project, you know. There are some projects you see that are very elegant with like a 1 weight or a 2 weight yarn. In that case, yes, there's going to be spaces, and sometimes those empty spaces enhance the pattern. But in this case, because I'm trying to make like a shawl or a scarf, something like that, then I want to have a more dense fabric. Sorry, I just started crocheting. I'm getting into the swing of things. I switched from, in the morning, I was using a K hook. Then I switched to an I hook. Now I'm at an M hook. So I try not to do this to myself where I vary very greatly with the hook size in one day, because sometimes I find that that hurts my hands. But I'm on a roll, guys. I'm just going through my whips. So what other whips do I have? I have taken out some scrap yarn that I'm going to be making hats with. So if it's soft enough, I will make baby hats. If it's not soft enough, I will make an adult hat. I found one of my whip bags, project bags, and in there I have 2 projects. So I do have one more Annabelle shawl that's on the hook, and that I'm doing with a H hook, so that will take some time, and I still have a ball and a half to use for that. So I don't know if I'll be using all of that yarn, because I need to see the size of that shawl, like what is the size of it so far. I don't mind making it a little bit big, so we'll see how much of that yarn I get to use. That is a Hobby Lobby yarn. I think it's called Yarn Bee Sweet Delight or something like that. So there's that project. And then I think I have another Hobby Lobby yarn in a pink color. I have one or two balls, and then I have a green mint color that I was going to add after the pink. So those two, I'm making a beautiful shells pattern. That's a really easy pattern to memorize, and that's really, really fun to make too. But that yarn again is a thinner yarn, so that also uses like an, I'm thinking I must have used either a G hook or an H hook at the most. So those two projects will take a little bit more time. I mean, if I spend like, I don't know, let's say 2 hours on this project right here, I could likely just knock it out like tonight. So that might happen. But for those other projects, because it's a smaller hook and there's kind of more yarn than this, I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time. So those are two whips that I have. And then I do have a new car whip. So I always keep a project in my car. So I am actually making a moss stitch or linen stitch baby blanket out of a Karen baby cake. So that is also 100% acrylic, and that's pretty soft as well. That one I am using a J6mm hook. So I've kept that hook and that yarn, excuse me, in my project bag in my car. And so that's just like if I'm somewhere and I have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I will pull out that project and I will just start working on it. So it's just like an in-between project, but of course, once it gets to a more, I don't know, more than halfway through, I likely will bring it in and start working on it. So I have that. I have another whip, or you could call it an unfinished object now. I'm just thinking of it now because I am using a larger hook size. It is, excuse me, it is a shawl that I'm making for myself out of carousel yarn by Joanne. I don't know if it's called Big Twist Carousel, but it's carousel yarn. And I cannot remember the colorway, but it like has reds, like really deep reds in it. And I had bought a bunch of skeins of that because I just like fell in love with the color. I think I'm like halfway done now. So it is in my yarn closet on top as one of my whips. And at some point I will pull that out and work on that as well. I think those are most of my whips. I had started one spring crochet along and I did part 1 and 2 out of 4 parts. And so that was a project I was making with the Mandala bonus bundle. I think the color was Giant. And I need to finish that. So that is a thinner yarn. So I think I must have used, I want to say an H hook, maybe an I hook. But I'm kind of unsure about that one, whether, like, I'm not 100% yet whether I want to finish it or like complete it with all 4 parts, or just kind of fasten it off where it is and move on and use the rest of the yarn for something else, because I'm okay with that too. I just right now for the next couple weeks I won't really get dedicated time to follow instructions, like follow a video with a tutorial. So that project might still sit in a project bag for until like sometime in September. And what else? I'm just trying to think if I have any other whips. So I think that is pretty much it. Of course, I have a lot of yarn in my stash right now, and I would like to use it up. So I'm kind of on a self-imposed yarn ban. I'm not buying any more yarn right now, even though there's such nice things out there right now that I would love to just scoop up. But I'm making it a point to at least first finish my whips. I'd say I'm okay with having like 1 card project and maybe 1 or 2 whips before I start something new. I kind of just want like a clean slate, you can say, before I jump in and start creating new things. I do have 1 or 2 project bags here that have like skeins that are half or more than half full, and I just have used a little bit of them in other projects. So they're almost full skeins that are in these project bags, and I'm just trying to figure out what to do with them. I'm not sure if I should go and put them back in my yarn closet. Maybe I will do that. I'll make space on one of the shelves and just put them back, because I don't really like having them in bags, because then I can't see what colors are in there. I can't see what brand it is. It's all kind of just a mismatch of things. Okay, I organized my bags at the bottom of my yarn closet, and so now we have one bag that has, it's for scrap yarn, and it has two whips, two scrap whips. So it has a corner to corner that I started, and then it also has a granny square that I started. So those are two that if I really have any scraps, I can add it on there. The scraps that I've kept to make hats are a little bit different, and I have kept them out of that bag on purpose. Another bag has the more bulky weight yarns, like the number 5s and number 6s. And with that, I am making a, how do you say, a moss stitch in the round, in a square. I'm making a moss stitch square. So that's another scrap project. So there are 3 scrap projects there. And the bulky weight bag actually has quite a lot of yarn in there that I need to add onto that moss square. So I need to get on that at some point. And then the last bag that I have there at the bottom of my yarn closet is actually cotton yarn. So I have like this entire bag full of cotton yarn, and I was trying to think what to make with it. So I have a few ideas. Let me know if you have any other ideas. So I just saw a tutorial for a granny square bow on YouTube. I thought that was really cool. Just making small granny squares out of cotton yarn, and it looked so beautiful. That is one idea. Another idea I have is to make bucket hats out of cotton yarn. I've been watching Lisa over at Happy to Hook Creations. I really, really love her channel, guys. Definitely go and check her out. I love everything she shows, everything she makes, and her voice is so soothing. She just has a really good vibe, and I love watching her. So she was mentioning bucket hats, and she actually used 2 strands together. So she used like a DK weight yarn with like a chenille yarn and tried to do a bucket hat like that. She's tried a couple different things. And so I don't have a white chenille yarn right now, but I was thinking that maybe I could make a bucket hat out of cotton yarn, or maybe I could mix a cotton yarn with an acrylic yarn and try and make a bucket hat that was a bit thicker. So those are all kind of ideas swirling around. I'm just trying to see how I can use my cotton yarn. I feel like I have so much sitting in there, and I would like to be able to make something that's usable. I did make a few face scrubbies and some hand towels and things like that just for my own house out of cotton yarn that I had. So that's always a possibility, but I feel like for me the cotton yarn is like goes to the bottom of the list. Like that's not priority when I'm looking at my yarn. That's kind of it's yarn that I bought, a few years ago, and the only yarn I did buy some cotton yarn last year when I made hexagon cardigans, and I made some for my daughter, I made some for her friend, I made some for her teachers. The teachers ones were with acrylic yarn, but the one for her and her friends, those ones were with cotton yarn. So all these possibilities, but like I'm done buying cotton yarn. I don't see me buying any in the near future, and I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it. So please do let me know. Please share with me, what do you make with your cotton yarn? I don't have an excessive amount of any color, so I would likely be mixing and matching colors. I think they're all the same way. I don't know that cotton yarn comes in different thicknesses. Maybe it does, but I think all of mine are relatively the same. I would likely use probably an H hook, a 5mm with it. So I have all of that there. So I do need your help. please do let me know what to make with my cotton yarn, because it's kind of sitting around, you know. You don't want yarn in your stash that's kind of just hanging out. You want to be able to use everything and really enjoy everything. So that is another thing I'd like to work on. And then once I'm through some of my whips, then yes, I will start new projects. And I do have a crochet along that I have saved called Sarah. That's by Iman, Iman. She's on Ravelry. And I think, I'm not sure if she made a video tutorial for it, but I know that it's there on her website. So it's on Ravelry as well. So it's called Sarah, Sarah. And then one of my favorite designers that made this one, this is the Cosmic Crochet Along, is coming out with a new crochet along at the end of September. I think it's called Winnie's Wonder, something like that. Winnie's something. And that is a free crochet along that will run through her website, I believe. And you just need to sign up to be a member. It's free. And her designs are spectacular. So I had purchased a lot of Karen Simply Soft when it was on sale from Joanne, I think. And I bought very vibrant colors. So I didn't really buy any pastel colors or baby colors. I bought very kind of hot pinks and like in your face, really just bright and happy colors. So baby colors are bright and happy too, but you know what I mean. So I just need to choose about 5 to 6 colors and go with that. I don't think I have any Karen Simply Soft in white, which is, I guess it's okay. I do have some in black. So now I'm just, as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking that maybe, you know, when you see stained glass and it has a whole bunch of colors, but then it has the black too, maybe I could do something like that. And I could use the Karen Simply Soft that I have in black as well with the brighter colors, and maybe that'll look really nice. So there we go. I just came up with that on the fly. So I'm going to choose my colors. I do have like 2 to 3 skeins of each color. So I mean, I'll start with that. And if I really do need some more yarn to complete that project, I'm okay with buying a little bit, but I would like to first use what I have. So yay, now I'm excited that I'm going to be working on that. And now I can go choose all my colors. I just need to go to my yarn closet. Who would have thought 10 years ago that, hey, if someone had told me in 10 years you will have a yarn closet, I would have been like, really? Are you joking? But now it's just like, this is my life. This is my crochet, this is my yarn, this is my obsession, this is my passion. This is what I love doing, and now I'm really excited about the crochet along that's going to start at the end of September. So check that out as well. It's called Winnie's Wonder by Helen Shrimpton. Her website is Crystals and Crochet, and her Facebook group is called Helen's Hookaholics. So you can definitely find her online. I'll try to see if I can post a link to something of hers in the description box so that you can find her easily. So yeah, just to remind myself, I'm going to give you the Helen Shrimpton thing, and I'm going to give you the pattern for the scarf that I showed you in the beginning of the video, and I will also try and find the name of the color that I used for that scarf. So those are a few to-dos for me, what I need to do before I post this video. So yes, I got a lot done today, and I'm so happy that I made this video, because now I'm so excited about my upcoming crochet along and so excited about the yarn that I currently have. I'm just over the moon. Please excuse I'm already in my jammies, and this is my hair right out of the shower, but I've enjoyed my time with you so much today, and I hope you did too. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I hope you have a wonderful crochetful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.